All right, 6.01, monitoring report, EL3, treatment of students and their families for the 2009-2010 school year. Do I have a motion and or discussion? Trustee Mason?
No, that was the other.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I be put in the queue, please?
Okay. Trustee Moulton's button's not working either. Trustee Wright, is this for this? Okay, so Trustee Wright, Edwards, and then Moulton, please.
I had a couple of comments that I'd like to go through. Do we want to do a motion and then discussion, or can we do discussion first? And how do you want to do it?
You can do discussion first.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. If we could go to page 2 of 53 on the returns for the 9-10. Uh-oh. We lost her. I noted that there was a decrease in parents and a decrease in staff, but an increase in student respondents. I thought that was interesting that the people that are the most affected came out more to fill out the survey. If you go to the next page and the changes in questions and the one for the parent link, was that on this year's? I don't know who I'm talking to about this. Who's? Oh.
Well, you get to join us twice tonight. God bless you for being here.
Lisa Pitch, Research Coordinator, Department of Research.
Thanks.
The parent link question is new for this year.
Is new for this year, so the 10-11, not the 9-10.
Right.
Okay, all right. That's why. Page 20 of 53. The public concern form, it says here that it's available in schools and this kind of thing, but I think we need to do a better job of having that available online. Hang on, don't go anywhere, Lisa. Hang on. I think we need to do a better job of having that online for people. I think that there's a stigma that the staff in the office may be watching who picks up the forms and all this kind of stuff. And I just think, again, when we're talking about communication and ease of availability, things like that. So that one. And then 25, page 25. At the top there, Area Service Center 3. I was a little troubled that only 2 schools did anything for, any kind of the different cultures and things like that in Area Service Center 3. I have a feeling that there probably was more, but I think that should have been a little more inclusive. And page 35. Under the supporting data, about 2/3 of the way down, it says of the 260 schools surveyed, these are the respondents of how much they did. I think personally they should be doing all of those every time. They should include it in the newsletter. It should be on the website. It should be a link, a posting when the parents go on Parent Link. We should not exclude any information at any time from any one of those things. It needs to be so that however our parents are getting their information, they're getting it consistently however they choose to connect to their school. And my last comment, I guess, Lisa, that was it for you, sorry. My last comment is that there seemed to be one area, and I'm not going to name the area, that was consistently very light in their responses, not very detailed, not very much information. And that did concern me. I felt like some of the areas did a really comprehensive job of reporting different programs and things, but I felt like there was one area consistently that was not as comprehensive in their answers. So with that, my comments.
Thank you, Trustee Wright. Trustee Edwards, please.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I just wanted to make some overall comments. I think this report is excellent, and I appreciate all the work that staff and the areas and the superintendent has done to put this together. I do have a few places that I wanted to ask some questions, and I'm going to start with page 13 of 53. Specifically with regard to the ADA concerns, I just wanted to clarify a few things since this has been raised recently in several board meetings. There are reasons why not every school is ADA compliant, because if they were built a long time ago, they're not required to be. And I believe we have staff able to answer a few questions. I would like to, just for the board's knowledge, have somebody answer, when are we required to make ADA improvements to our older schools? How much do we have to do by law, and how much do we actually do when we do it? And address the issue of portables. Does every portable have to be ADA compliant? I know the answer is no, but and then with our new schools, when we build them, are we building them to the ADA standards?
Mr. Kerner?
Try to take those, Trustee Edwards, members of the board. I'm not sure I'll get them in the right order. Overall, I would characterize CCSD.
And I cannot hear whoever's talking.
Let me try that one.
Well, it's very loud here.
This one, I hope, is on. Can you hear me, Trustee
Yeah, I
Edwards?
can hear you now.
Overall, I would characterize CCSD as the most aggressive complier with ADA requirements of any public entity in the valley here. I think we go well above and beyond what the requirements are on a very consistent basis. We have some of the most knowledgeable people involved in being ADA compliant. By my perception of it, the gross misunderstanding that has been relayed in front of the board in the last few meetings on this item is that when the ADA law passed, suddenly we were required to go out and make a correction to every ADA non-compliant water fountain, access ramp, door opener, and a plethora of other ADA-related issues in every building that we owned. No one in the United States has tried to take that approach to it. It is just kind of a crazy thing to think of. The federal government who passed the ADA laws did not come anywhere near close to requiring that of its own federal installations. There's no Navy base that I've been on in my 20 years that had 100% compliance in every single area. So that being said, in terms of what the reasonable expectation of ADA was, let me tell you what we do. Certainly since the law was passed, every building that we have built has been built fully ADA compliant to the standards as they were at that time. And those standards have continued to evolve as we learned more about how do you design things, how do you configure things to make them the most accessible possible. Let's turn now to modernization projects. The basic gist of it is that if we're going in to, say, just replace rooftop air conditioners, and that's all we're touching, and we're not getting into a renovation of the interior of the building, generally we would not, we absolutely would not be required to undertake any ADA-related modifications inside the building. If, on the other hand, we're doing what we would refer to as a full renovation project, we are required to make those accommodations since we're in there making changes, but we're only required to make them to kind of a reasonable standard. We need to make sure that there is accessibility for people on the campus. It doesn't mean that every restroom in the facility has to be fully ADA compliant, although I can tell you that my inspectors and my experts in the field tend to lean way in that direction. The guideline expectation when you do a modernization project like that is that you might want to spend as much as 20% of the project cost on ADA compliance, and I can tell you that we often spend more than that going above and beyond. As to the portables, no, we do not make each and every one of them ADA compliant, But where there is an accessibility issue, we generally have a ramp on that portable to make it ADA compliant, generally within 24 hours of notification that there's a need for it. So I think we are exceptionally compliant. We lean very far forward, and if you look at the total scope of the number of people that we serve, 310,000 students and 30,000 staff, and you realize that sitting on my desk right now are 0 ADA compliance requests, it gives you some indication of how we stand here.
Thank you very much.